Today, I'm on Qantas in business class on the 787-9 from Sydney to Perth, a flight that continues on doing the ultra-long haul from Perth to Paris, but I'll be getting off in Western Australia to catch another flight. I'm kicking off the epic end of my oneworld round the world in 10 days with 3 big flights right at the end, and although I took them all back to back, I'll be splitting this into 3 videos. So today, let's check out what Qantas business class is like on a domestic service but with the long haul seat. So it's time to head out from this very comfortable Four Seasons Sydney hotel room, and it's an exciting journey going back. Long one though. 32 hours is going to take me to get back to Helsinki on 3 fairly long segments, traveling 10,561 miles. So that's quite a bit, but I could have it much worse. If you're going to do a 32-hour trip, you might as well do it on some nice airlines, and I've got a few nice ones lined up, especially fun for me. Qantas on their 787-9 over to Perth to start with, and then Qatar Airways A380 to Doha from there, a long one, and it'll be my first time on the Qatar Airways A380. And finally, Finnair's A330 Doha to Helsinki. I've flown them a bunch of times. Actually, I've flown Finnair 48 times in my life. This will be number 49, but always nice to get back on board Finnair and have their new business class seat. Of course, we're doing it all in business class, finishing up this round-the-world trip with a mega marathon flying day. So let's go and do this. Let's get out there into the world, and I hope you enjoy the tail end of this round-the-world trip. By the way, taking public transport to the airport in Sydney is really easy with the train. I definitely recommend it if you're starting off from the CBD. This is a weird flight because, as I mentioned, it continues on to Paris. That means I will have to go through a special section here where my passport is checked as if I'm leaving the country, even though I'm not, since much of the plane is doing so. I'll then have to sort of re-enter the country in Perth, but they know that I didn't really ever truly leave. So that's pretty interesting. I'm on this flight QF33, which is the 787 service that flies from here, Sydney to Perth, and then continues on to Paris. And it turns out that that causes some amount of confusion because here in Sydney it departs from the international terminal. Most people on that flight go through immigration, outgoing, leaving Australia here in Sydney. So in my case, I'm actually a special domestic passenger on this otherwise international flight. So I got a special sticker on my boarding pass, and I need to show that to the border force officer here, and I presumably in Perth as well, so I don't have to come in through immigration. And then because I'm changing to Qatar Airways, which is all the way on the other side of Perth almost, at least on the other side of the airport, I'm going to have to do a bunch of toing and froing to make this connection. Not the most efficient connection you can do, but definitely the best aircraft combo and well worth it. I'm going to meet up with some people, hopefully go to the viewing area in Perth anyway, so I wanted to leave the terminal, so it's all the same to me. But this should be interesting. I've never done quite something like this, being a domestic passenger on a flight that is considered international already. And this is going to be a fun flight for me to try because it's Qantas 787. I haven't flown Qantas in years, and I've never flown their 787, and the business class on there looks pretty nice, and it's the one that operates their ultra long haul flights to Europe, as is this one going on to Paris. They also do London and I believe Rome on these now, until the A350s come in to do the ultra long haul non-stops, presumably Sydney direct to Europe. I haven't really kept up to date with the plans, but until that happens, it's these, and they're going via Perth. And Perth is turning into a big hub for them, and they're doing a lot of redevelopment work, building an all-new terminal, redoing the airport. It's going to get an airport hotel finally, you name it. So lots of exciting stuff in the works for Qantas, for Australian aviation, and for Perth Airport too, where I went earlier in the year, had a great time, so it'll be nice to catch up, hopefully with at least 1 or 2 people who I met last time coming in on South African Airways A340 inaugural. So if you haven't seen that, I'll put the link down in the description. The queue ended up being so long for both security and the passport check, and for that reason, if you're just traveling on the domestic leg, even though it's great to get the 787 instead of the typical 737 with recliner seats, I think I might recommend avoiding this one. The lounge was way too crowded to do any proper filming in, unfortunately. All I can say is it's nothing special. Last time I was here, I had access to the first class lounge, which was amazing. This really pales in comparison. It's a real step down. What a beauty this airplane is. First impressions really good. The seat looks great and offers lots of comfort, counter space, and room to stretch out. And the cabin crew on this one are clearly a great group too. You know how you can usually tell almost immediately based on those initial interactions when you board? That's always a nice feeling. Would be especially true if you knew you had 20 plus hours ahead on this airplane, but I'm happy with my 4.5. I love the colors Qantas are using, like the purple on the safety card and pink on the magazine. It's such a nice contrast to the muted cabin colors. A perfect mix, I think.
More frequent flyers on this flight to Perth. Please place your bags either under the seat in front of you or in the overhead lockers. If you are seated at a bulkhead or in an exit row, all baggage needs to go in the overhead lockers. It's now time to switch your phone and any other devices.
Every single member of the crew deserves a keychain today, so I get those lined up. IFE looks good, plenty of box sets of good shows, plus the moving map is very nice. And the food is quite good too. It's not among my top airplane meals ever, but it does the job and it's a good amount. I enjoyed the ice cream at the end too. All in all, this is a very pleasant 4.5-hour flight. I couldn't really ask for more. What a nice way to cross Australia. And the crew were kind enough to make an appearance in the video right at the end. Look at me, I'm Sam Choi now. Don't forget to join me for the next one, Qatar Airways A380 on the long run to Doha, coming to you next week. Thanks for coming along.
Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is off. As always, smoking, vaping, and the air.
Thank you guys so much. It was a great flight over to Perth. Really appreciate it.
Great having you here. Thanks very much.
All right, that was so nice to be back on Qantas. The cabin crew were amazing. They were super fun to talk to, really interested in what I was doing. And Captain was great too. I loved his sense of humor and got to chat with him a little bit right at the end there. Really nice flight, really nice seat. The only thing missing was Wi-Fi, I guess. I don't know if those 787s just simply don't have it or what. I'm gonna have to look into that. But otherwise, I was watching Succession, my go-to airplane show, and it was almost too short. But I have many more hours of flying ahead of me, so I hope you enjoyed this one. And let me know if you've flown the Qantas 787. I'm especially curious if you've done it on any of these super long ones, like the 17+ hour flight that it's about to leave for to Paris, that same flight that I just got off of. Let me know. I'm curious to hear about it. And thank you for joining as always. Catch you next time.